Instructional coaches are an important part of school campuses. To have effective relationships with adult learners, instructional coaches should use strategies and make sure that they have trusting relationships to build with all of their colleagues. Instructional coaches should act more as peers and not administrators. They will then get more teacher buy-in, and teachers will be more likely to come to them as mentors. Building strong ties with teachers is key to being able to support and improve student outcomes. Coaches and mentors should have a ready-to-go toolbox of strategies that they can use in order to best support their teachers and give the best feedback that they can to be effective for adult learners as well as their student learners. This video is going to demonstrate 2 strategies and approaches that coaches can use to demonstrate building trusting relationships and also how to communicate effective and positive feedback to their adult learners. There are 2 approaches that instructional coaches can take in order to build trusting relationships with adult learners. The first approach that I'm going to review is instructional coaches having open communication and making sure that their communication is timely with their teachers. Being vocal about good things that teachers are doing is a very positive way to encourage teachers and build a trusting relationship. Teachers know that their work is seen when they receive positive accolades, and it gives them positive feedback and encourages them to continue to do those types of things with their students. Instructional coaches should look for teachers that are going above and beyond their expectations and looking for teachers that are completing tasks that are making a difference in students' lives and the school community. Coaches can compliment in person, through email, or even over text to give encouraging and positive feedback to their adult learners. Here is an example of an in-person interaction with a teacher. Hi, Mr. Richards, how are you doing today?
Great.
I noticed yesterday that you stood at your door and greeted all of your students. That's such a great way to create a welcoming environment.
Yeah, I find it helpful to check in with them every morning and just see how they're doing.
That's great. Keep up the good work. The second approach that instructional coaches can take with their teachers is to make sure that the focus is staying on their students. So through meetings and through professional development, instructional coaches should maintain the focus of the meeting and of the professional development on the students. Teachers are motivated when they know that the work that they are doing is impacting their students in ways that matter. Coaches should guide teachers in goal setting, helping them to maintain those goals, and observe lessons to follow up with teachers to ensure that learning outcomes are being met. Here are some sample questions that instructional coaches could ask teachers to ensure that the focus is staying based around our students. Hey, Mr. Richards, that was great that you mentioned in the meeting about your photosynthesis lab. I think that's a great idea. What are some follow-up questions that might help let you know that your students are meeting their learning goals?
Maybe having students explain what photosynthesis is in their own words. Explain the role of chlorophyll in the process. And maybe how plants use glucose.
Yeah, great. Those are all excellent analysis questions, and that would really let you know that students are meeting the learning goals and meeting the learning objectives. Yeah, that sounds great.
All right.
I'm now going to discuss a couple strategies for communicating effective and descriptive feedback to adult learners. The first strategy for communicating effective feedback is making sure to balance positive and constructive feedback. Positive feedback builds teachers' confidence and reinforces positive behavior. Constructive feedback identifies opportunities for growth and lets teachers know areas that they can work on and begin to improve. Teachers are more receptive to feedback when they do not feel attacked and instead feel supported by their mentors and coaches. Here's an example of a positive and constructive feedback. Hey, Mr. Richards, that was a great lesson that I observed yesterday on the solar system. How do you feel it went?
Well, I feel like they were really engaged at the beginning, really focused. By the end, their focus kind of waned. They were a little less into the lesson, but
Yeah, I would agree actually. I did see that. At the beginning, you used great visuals to really capture the students' interest, and that went really well. Maybe you could use or incorporate an interactive or hands on activity to kind of help keep their attention through the whole period.
yeah, I could see that working. Doing something a little more interactive throughout the whole lesson, something to keep their hands moving, keep them interested would be helpful.
Yeah, that'd be great. The second strategy for providing effective feedback is making sure that feedback is given in a precise and specific manner. It helps teachers to really focus on what they can improve and what they can work on when the feedback is precise. Feedback that is specific is also very important so that teachers are not feeling vaguely attacked and they're given specific goals that they can work on. Here is an example of giving precise feedback. I observed Mr. Richards yesterday and I want to give him some precise feedback on his presentation skills. Instead of just telling him his presentation skills need some improvement, I'm going to be specific in what I let him know needs to be done when he comes in to meet with me.
Hi, Mrs. Giacalone.
Hi, how you doing, Mr. Richards?
Good.
I enjoyed your presentation yesterday. There were just a couple things that I noticed that you might want to work on. You were speaking really quickly, which made it kind of hard to follow for your students. And you didn't seem to be making much eye contact. So maybe looking up a little more will make them a little bit more engaged and have a little bit more impact.
Okay, thanks for the input. I'll try that next time.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
Instructional coaching is very important and an important part of the school campus in order to maintain trust among colleagues and give teachers effective feedback in order for them to improve and continue to focus on the learning outcomes of our students. Strategies that build trusting relationships and communicate effective feedback are important for instructional coaches to utilize. Making sure that these strategies are focused on and used in meetings and professional development will help to ensure that all members of the school campus feel supported.